This is my custom PC build. It's very inexpensive and can still run practically any game at 1440p and 100 frames easily. If you're anything like me, we're not tech wizards and we just want a good system to game on. So I make this guide digestible for anyone that was in my shoes. Watch this video to the end and you'll learn how to optimize your future build so that you can have the best performance and aesthetic without breaking the bank. Hey, I'm a Chromix and I play video games at a high level and make more serious content covering things like mental health and a bit of philosophy. I like to lean into more of the personal side of content creation rather than just gaming, but that's a topic for another time. Be sure to stick around and join the community if that's something that you'd be interested in. But with that being said, let's get into the video. PC building can be a bit intimidating, but if you go into it with clear goals, you can save a lot of time and money. Knowing exactly what you'll be using your PC for will help streamline the process and get you gaming quicker with little to no roadblocks. My goals were to have a build that could run anything at 1440p and high frame rates, stream and record gameplay in high quality, be great at multitask, and have a clean white aesthetic all within $1,000. For reference, these are my specs and everything will be linked in the description in case you want to use my build as a template. I highly recommend that you don't copy my build to a T because your own self-expression is a very important part of this process in my opinion. But that's actually an excellent segue into the absolute most important part of this video. Picking PC parts is great, but without compatible parts, your system will not work at all. It's important that you educate yourself on the functions of the 8 components of any build, which are the CPU, GPU, RAM, motherboard, SSD, CPU cooler, case, and your power supply. This may seem very confusing, but I assure you that this is almost as easy as building Legos and is honestly the most fun part about the process. It's essential that you start with the CPU because your motherboard, your RAM, your CPU cooler, and SSD all have to be compatible with it. It's like the brain of your computer. For the sake of this video, I'll be discussing AMD and the AM4 platform specifically because that's what I went for. The AM4 platform is the older generation CPU socket type for AMD and is comparable to the PS4 as it relates to the PS5. The difference between the AM4 platform and the PS4, however, is that the AM4 platform actually holds up in terms of performance and is a viable option for anyone looking to save money and game at a high level as well. In my personal opinion, going AM5 would have been overkill because the returns on the investment with the more expensive parts is not nearly worth it for 99% of the gamers. It can be argued that the AM5 platform is better in the long run because you can upgrade individual opponents as they release, but that's another topic for another video. In my build, I chose the Ryzen 5600 Non-X because it's regarded as the best performance per dollar CPU on the AM4 platform. Now that that's chosen, we're officially locked into the AM4 platform and have to choose AM4 compatible parts for the rest of our components. For our GPU, I went with the best looking graphics that I could get, as well as great encoding for high quality live streams and recordings, as well as a bit of future proofing. I went with the RX 7800 XT because it does all of this and has pretty good value per dollar, and it won't be bottlenecked too much by the 5600. For our motherboard, I went with the ASRock B550M Steel Legend because it has all of the basic features that I need in a motherboard, has a clean white aesthetic, and is fairly inexpensive as well. It is a micro ATX board, so keep that in mind for later when we choose our case. For our RAM, I went with 2 sticks of the 16GB Team Group T-Force RGB DDR4 Delta. This was the best choice because 32GB of RAM gives me enough headroom to stream, game, record, and do other intensive tasks all at the same time. I highly recommend getting 32GB of RAM as opposed to 16 because games are getting really demanding on RAM nowadays and you want to have that headroom to do other things. And upgrading the 32 isn't that much more expensive anyways. For our CPU cooler, I actually went with a Thermalright Assassin King RGB. I chose this one because of the overwhelming positive reviews that I had read online. The CPU cooler that comes with the 5600 is very loud from what I heard, and having a custom cooler is known to perform far better than the stock AMD cooler. For our SSD, I just needed something that was compatible with the AM4 platform and had decent speeds. So I went with the Team Group MP44L 1TB drive. I would not recommend getting anything under 1TB of storage because games are getting larger and larger, and there's likely things on your system that you'll end up downloading other than games as well. For our power supply, I went with the Thermaltake Smart BX3 650 watt non-modular unit. I chose this power supply because I needed something that would comfortably power the system without much wasted power for a dollar. I highly recommend not buying cheap or no-name brand power supplies because it can and likely will brick your whole system and all of your hard-earned money will go to waste. Now that the serious part of this video is over, it's time to get into the more aesthetic parts of the build. I went with a micro ATX size board, so that means that I can buy any full-size case without having to worry about it being too small for our motherboard. I went with the Antec C3 because it has a clean fishbowl look that I wanted for my build. It comes with 4 pre-installed RGB fans, pre-installed RGB controller with an adjustable button, a USB Type A and C port, as well as a headphone jack. This case also has great airflow despite being a fish tank design due to its 3 intake fans, 1 exhaust fan, and mesh panels. For some additional flair to the look, I added the Lian Li strimmer cables as well as a Funko Pop of my choice, which is the Yusuke one. Alright, taking a bit of a break from the video as you can see here. I promised my subscribers that I would do a bit of a setup reveal, so here we go. Starting off with this, I guess. I have a little Amazon Alexa speaker that I don't have plugged in yet. A random mouse that I found on Amazon, which is not very good for gaming at all. And I'm trying to get into keyboard and mouse, so I really need to get a better one. Let me know what you guys recommend. I have bigger hands, so as you can see, this is like tiny. I can barely aim on this thing, but here I have the Fine AM8, which is a very nice microphone. It's only like 60 bucks. I highly recommend this. Here I have some Apple headphones that I plug in to the microphone to get audio, and then I use this to speak, which is very good. This is a very high quality microphone for people on a budget, so I highly recommend that shit. But this is a random this is a random keyboard that I found on Amazon. The brand is right there. I don't really know what it's called, but this is pretty good. I'm not very well versed in PC gaming, so I don't really know what would qualify a good keyboard, but here I have a Scepter 165 hertz monitor. This is 24 inches if I'm not mistaken. 1 millisecond response time, 1080p. It's pretty cool. Pretty decent stuff. I've had it for a while, so this bit of an outlier to the setup, I guess, but it's a tripod that I'm going to set my camera up on when I start streaming. So yeah, that's there. Let's go down here, I guess. Here I have my PS5 that I use only to play Valorant at this point, console Valorant. I have a power bank. I have my long USB-C charger down here and my iPhone charger. PS5 controller that I use on my PC with this cord, because this motherboard doesn't include Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So yeah, that's something you might want to consider. It's not really that big of a deal for me because, as you can see, I have a LAN cable routed to the Wi-Fi right there. So, but yeah, this is the PC build. If you want to take another look at it, here I have like a knife, wallet, scissors. This is my old laptop that I used to record on. This is actually my brother's, but he lended it to me. Clean USB, flash drive, a little dongle in case I want to use my earplugs on my phone. Here I have the case for my pop here. And I have another gone one, a lighter, a karambit knife this time, some smell good, and some hand sanitizer. This is actually my brother's setup, which is, I fuck with this. Got a little dual monitor setup going. I actually don't know what his specs are because this is a pre-built, but yeah, a little Logitech, you know, keyboard and mouse going on. He has some other stuff, but I haven't really investigated too much on it. I have a skateboard here as well. But yeah, this is the setup that I have going on so far. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the outro, which I'm about to finish now. Now that you know how to choose your parts, let me know what you'll be playing on your PC and ask me anything about the process and I'll get back to you quickly. Special thanks to all of my supporters because this content isn't possible without you. And be sure to join the TCG Discord server to connect with me and everyone else here on the channel. And be sure to take care of yourselves and be kind to someone. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.